Welcome to the Sellernomics podcast, where we share valuable tips and information in the Amazon and e-commerce space. Each week, we deliver the best interviews with some of the top Amazon personalities in the industry to help you grow your business. Today's episode is brought to you by Getida, the global leader in FBA auditing and reimbursements. Get $400 in free FBA reimbursements at Getida.com/Sellernomics. And now, here are your hosts, Rob Stanley and Lisa Kinski.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's episode of Sellernomics. My name is Lisa Kinski. I'm joined by my co-host, Rob Stanley. And today's guest we have with us, Umair Jutt. He is from ProJapan, and we're going to be talking about how to find success while selling on Amazon Japan. I know this is a marketplace that not a lot of people are currently selling on. And Rob and I were talking about it beforehand. It's like the fourth fastest growing Amazon marketplace. So there's a lot of interest around it, but it's definitely still up and coming. So let's go ahead and bring our expert on. We've got Umair with us. Umair, how are you?
I'm feeling really well. How about you guys? And I really appreciate letting me come here at this great podcast and share knowledge about Amazon Japan. So this can be helpful for much more bigger audiences who are willing to sell on Amazon Japan.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for being here. So let's just start with the very beginning. Maybe you can share some history with us of when did Amazon launch in Japan? And beyond that, what was or what is the largest e-commerce platform outside of Amazon?
Yeah, definitely. So I don't know the exact date of launching on Amazon Japan in Japanese marketplace, but I can say it was like 2012 or 2011. Before that, we can see here was Rakuten, Yahoo, and Pave, these small marketplaces. And there are a bunch of small marketplaces still exist in Japan as well. But we can say mostly Rakuten was covering the marketplace until Amazon make an entry into Japanese marketplace.
Gotcha. Okay. I didn't realize that Rakuten was, because I feel like Rakuten only came here a couple of years ago and it was always it was like a deals site. I didn't think of it as more of a like regular marketplace. I always thought of it as just a coupon site. So,
yeah, definitely. So Lisa, if you can say Rakuten in Europe came a few years back, but definitely it was in Japan like from more than a decade or maybe 2 decades. So it was a deal site, but then it's slowly, you can say, converted into e-commerce platform as well. And it's doing amazing in Japan. Like it was first really, you can say, great competitor of Amazon. But once Amazon figured out what really, you can say, attracts the Japanese customers to their platform, now Amazon is doing a little bit better than Rakuten in Japan.
Gotcha.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember going to actually a Rakuten show back in the day in Los Angeles, kind of like the Amazon shows we go to now, Lisa. And it was huge. I was talking to people over there or people at the show, and they were talking to how big it was in Japan. It was absolutely huge. But I just kind of let everybody know. We're talking about selling on Amazon Japan, and why should they consider? We just gave that it's the fourth biggest marketplace, but kind of just give everybody like an idea of why they should be selling over there in Japan, and what have you seen for results wise.
Definitely. So there are a lot of reasons. Like I do have like piled up a lot of reasons, but you can say one of the main reasons are you cannot find much more competition here in Japanese marketplace as compared to US marketplace, or you can say any other European marketplaces. So for example, I will just give a quick example here. If you are an Amazon seller in USA, you can easily have like 2,000 reviews or 3,000 reviews in your listings, and you will be sitting in your category top 50 or top 100. But whereas in Japan, even though 90% of categories, when you go into top 10, you cannot find more than 3,000, 4,000 reviews, 90% of the time. So what that means, if you already have like 2,000 or 1,000 reviews even in your current marketplace, and your product have demand in the Japanese marketplace, so guess what? If you just expand your listing into Japanese marketplace and localize it really well, and then you market it with Amazon PPC and other strategies you can use, like influencer marketing, article publishing, a bunch of things there you can do, and you can easily be in top 10, competing with the top 10 guys in couple of months or couple of weeks. That's the biggest difference, and that's the biggest reason I think it's the biggest opportunity for Amazon sellers from Europe to USA expand into Japanese marketplace.
And what are some of the more, I guess, housekeeping or administrative items like taxes that Amazon sellers need to be aware of when expanding into Japan? I think we're all pretty familiar with like the VAT services expanding into Europe, but what is unique to Japan to keep them in good financial standing?
Yeah. So there is something called we call this shohizai. In Japan, we call it like consumption tax, but you can say it like it's something similar to that. Like you can say it is mandatory. It's like you can say back 2 years ago it was like 7%, but now it's up 10%, and maybe they are little bit thinking to little bit upgrade it like 12% as well. But this is really mandatory thing. Along this, you have to pay the custom taxes. So recently, when we had you can say one Samira last year, there was these rules like when you want to you can say sell on Amazon Japan, you cannot send directly to Amazon FB warehouse, like that will charge you more taxes, that will charge you taxes on based off your selling price instead of your invoicing price. So that will you will end up losing a lot of money, you will not have any profit. So there was one way around it, like you can send it to anybody local here in Japan, like us or anybody else who are providing these services. You can send it to them, so they will act as an IUR. So on if they will act as an IUR, then you will have to pay taxes on base of your you can say invoicing price. The taxes we are talking about are consumption tax and custom tax. Can be you can say different on base of each category, 5-10%, but the consumption tax is fixed 10%. So those 10-15% you are going to pay on based of your invoicing price instead of your selling price if you use an IUR like until October. But the rules have changed now, and I think the customs have realized it. Like it's that's how Amazon sellers are getting around it, and now they have made it mandatory to have like importer here in Japan. First, it was like you can have importer of record, but now you have to have importer. Like somebody should be proving from Japan, if you want to use this way, if you want to get saved from a lot of these taxes, somebody have to prove from Japan that they are purchasing these goods from China or from any other country, and then they are getting these goods into Japan, and that's the only way to save taxes, a lot of taxes when you can see going to sell on Amazon Japan. So I will give a small example here, like how big you can save. For example, if you're selling for $10 on Amazon, that's your retail price, and you can say your consumption tax plus your custom tax are 15%. So you will be paying like $1.5 for every single unit. Whereas when you're meanwhile your investing price is just like $1. So if you use IUR or importer, you will be paying tax 15% on $1. You will be shifting from $1.5 to 15 cents. So that's how big the difference is. But little bit problem, you can say Amazon and you can customs here in Japan have changed the rules. You will have to have importer in Japan. So we are also helping with that thing to get over around that thing as well, to make sure you are saving these huge taxes. And that's where you have privilege on Japanese sellers as well to make a better pricing.
Yeah. Wow. That's a bit complicated. It sounds like I would hire somebody like you to do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
It does. And it's probably, and it, correct us if we're wrong, but it probably is better to, if you're going into a market you're not super familiar with, to hire a company that can help you with things like these taxes. Besides
Definitely.
the taxes, is there any other, sort of importing type rules or issues that people should be aware of besides the taxes?
Yeah. So there are some categories like I think we already know about it. Similar in a lot of marketplaces, we can say the products which touch your skins. You can say those kind of products like it's lotion, or you can say is it cream, or it's something related to eating. These kind of items need to have like Japanese labeling, and that's one of the main thing when importing your goods. But there can be like more niche down, like medical products, pharmaceutical products. So for those kind of products, which are mostly you can say really hard to sell in any other marketplace as well, the same rules applies to Japanese marketplace. So there can be some products like in pharmaceutical category, or you can say in cosmetics, you will need to have some kind of certification here from Japan to import them. So we can also help with that, but that is not like overall scenario for everybody. It's only for, you can say, small number of sellers who are selling into those categories.
Yeah, sounds familiar or similar to what we have, with the FDA and the different agencies here to import in the United States. You have to pass safety tests, right? They want to protect their people. So that sounds, and then just following up on this with the importing, kind of a two-part question. Obviously, it sounds like I can import, if I have a factory in China, I could just have my China factory ship it directly to Japan, obviously using somebody like you guys. And then, once I do that, it gets to you guys. Do you guys warehouse it? Like what's help us with a little more of the process of the importing.
Okay. So there are a lot of different things. Like when you want to import into Japanese marketplace, all you have to prove is that you are sending it to somebody local. So we have something called here like corporate number. So our company can provide our corporate number to your freight forwarder, and on base of that, he can prove that this local company in Japan is importing these goods. So that way, they can either, you can say, the freight forwarder can place into their own warehouse if they want to, and then ship it from there to Amazon FBA warehouse, or either they can send it to our warehouse and we can help receive it, and you can say send it to Amazon FBA warehouse. So, but there is one more little tricky part here. So when you want to, you can say, send inventory into US marketplace or UK marketplace, you always get your shipment labels pasted. When you create your shipment plan, you get labels to be pasted on your pallets or boxes. So you give that to your supplier and they paste it from the China, and then it directly goes to Amazon FBA warehouse in USA or any other European marketplaces. But when you are sending it to, you can say, for Amazon Japan, and you are using somebody like us, you will not have to paste those shipment labels, just because it will attract more attention of, you can say, the customs, and they will go in more details. Even though you guys are using us for Amazon Japan, it will stack up your inventory for at least more 4 weeks. That will, you can say, expand the time frame of the inspection. So that's one thing to avoid. You can avoid pasting the shipment labels. Only get the FNSKU, which we call like product tables, paste it on your products. That's all. Have your you can say products really well packaged. That's one thing when it's come to marketing on Amazon Japan, and that's all you need to do. And you can send it to your freight forwarder. They can use our information. Either they can store into their warehouse, then send it to Amazon FBA warehouse, or you can use our warehouse for just, you can say, receiving the products and sending it to FBA warehouse, or we can also help with storing your inventory if something you can say that big you are trying to do.
Okay. And then what is, just out of curiosity, what is the general shipping time? I mean, are most people shipping by ocean or by air? Because we're so accustomed to ocean freight here in the States, right? Unless you want to pay a bunch for air because we're so far. Are folks usually shipping from China to Japan air or ocean? And how long does it take?
Yeah, so Lisa, like 99% of sellers I have seen so far are using ocean, because there is no point in using air. Like it can only save you 2 to 3 days, whereas in ocean it's gonna take you like max 7 to 8 days for inventory to arrive. As you know, Japan and China is really close and always neighbors countries to each other. So we do not need the air shipment here mostly, but there can be some, you can say, situations where you need stock really ASAP. There is some holidays or sales are coming and you are low on stock and you got some problem in restocking. That way you can say ship some of your inventory really soonest in by the year. But mostly we do recommend by the ship because it does not change too much, like 2 to 3 days max, and it will charge you a lot on the air instead of like the ship. So that is its best way to you can say do it by the ship, and it max take like 7 to 10 days maximum. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Quick and easy shipping. Almost like Amazon next day shipping, but for your product.
Yeah. But if you are selling in USA or Europe, in those countries, like you can say, there is one more privilege, like selling on Amazon Japan. You will not need to have like 3PL all the time, because you can always just ship it from your factory from China. It's gonna take you like 7 days. Whereas it can take you 7 days from shipping your 3PL in USA or Europe. So also, if you are shipping from China to US or Europe that far away, it's going to take you 30 to 40 days minimum. So that's a problem as well. That's not a problem, but you can say that kind of advantage Amazon Japan have here which will have you to spend low cost on, you can say, warehousing, and you can always just send it directly from your supplier.
Yeah, that's a super awesome note. We're going to take a quick break and hear from our sponsor, but we will be right back in a moment with more tips on how to succeed when selling on Amazon Japan.
Today's episode is brought to you by Getida, the global leader in FBA auditing and reimbursements. Get $400 in free FBA reimbursements at getida.com/Sellernomics.
All right, you guys, be sure to head over to getida.com/Sellernomics for the first 400 in FBA reimbursements free. We are back with Umair Jutt with ProJapan, talking about how to succeed selling on Amazon Japan. And on the topic of that, Umair, what are some of the things that Amazon sellers can do to properly localize their brand for Japan? Like short of just language. Talk to us about that.
That's my favorite topic, because that's like very few people know about this. So I really love talking about something I know a lot more better. So that's one thing. So when we say like localizing your listing, it's not just the language or just the images. It's providing the overall vibe and getting into the culture perspective. Like there can be some sentences and there can be some way of talking which help them understand, like this guy understand their culture. So for example, if you are trying to you can say, when writing your listing content, that's I'm just trying to explain what I'm talking about, like getting into that kind of cultural sense. We want to provide some example, or you want to compare with something, you try to compare from their culture. Take their you can say culture or history, or you can say their kind of preferences or their kind of holidays. If you want to, you can tell them, hey, gift your friends on these kind of holidays. Whereas if you can say in USA, okay, gifts for your friends, but you can say in Japan, gifts for your friends on these holidays. Like, there are different bunch of different holidays in Japan every single year. So that's what it means truly to get localized, to get into sense of their culture, behavior and talking. So that's what makes them really believe in you. As we all know, Japanese audiences are, you can say, really not into taking risks. You can say, according to the Statista report, like maybe done in 2021, US audiences, you can say 55%, which are not willing to take any kind of risk, but 45% can take risk easily. Whereas in Japan, only 4 to 5% audiences will be thinking to take a risk, but 95% will just ignore it or move away. So that's the thing. You need to make a trust here. So that's not just the language, just the images. So it's all about getting into the culture vibe. So let's get more deeper into that. So so you can say you have when you go to Amazon listing page, you have your 7 images, you have your title, you have your bullet points, you have your brand story, you have your description, you have your press content. So it means like really localizing every single prospect of it, not just the listing content. So when we say writing the title, it should be really clear, and you can say, whereas it's same in all the marketplaces, bullet points as well. But there is one mistake I have seen so far, like 95% of the clients we have got for ProJapan so far for Amazon Japan. So once we started handling their accounts, all of them have did the translations, and they were saying to me like, we are not getting any impressions. So you can say, as we all know, if you're running a PPC campaigns on, you can say, some keywords, and if those kind of keywords does not exist in your listing content, you will barely get any impressions. So it was all Google translated. They got the keywords from Helium 10, put into the PPC campaigns, and they were complaining to me like, we are not getting any impressions, like Amazon got broke or something problem technically. So when you can say, look deep into down into that, it was that all the listing content was Google translated, and it was, you can say, driving away all the traffic. Anybody can easily understand it is Google translated. Even when I Google translate into English, or we can say like English is the least language we can understand, it is Google translated, because there are a lot of different accents, and you may get, you can say, confused, like if this is different accents, or you can say, is it Google translated? But whereas when it's come to like Amazon Japan, it's always like it's we can say Google Translate it, or you can say there are not many different accents. So we can only say it's Google Translate. So that's one thing will take them away from your listing. So it's better to, you can say, have your listing content localized, and you can say written by somebody who is Japanese. Even though I have been living in Japan from like past 10 years, more than 10 years, I cannot, you can say, myself, you can say, write the listing content. Even though I can speak Japanese, I can write Japanese. I will not recommend writing a listing content myself. I will have written it from my Japanese, you can say, worker, or Japanese, you can say, assistant. So that's one thing. And yeah, that's on the listing content. And then when it's come to like the images, it's really different. Whereas in USA, we can see the listing images designs and A plus content designs are really, you can say, cool, clean, and a little bit of text, and you can say more focusing on the product images. Whereas for the Japanese marketplace, you need to provide a lot of texts, or you can say text in the images. So that's what Japanese audiences love to read. As you know, Japanese audiences, according to the study done again in 2021, average US consumers spend like less than 1 minute, or to, you can say, consider whether they are going to purchase this product or not. They read the listing content, or they look at the images, they just scan it through it. But it's really different in Japanese marketplace. They at least spend like 5 minutes when it's come to purchasing from somebody. Just 5 minutes on one listing. They will read through your all of your images. That's why you will have to provide a lot of text for them to read. It's just not be some random text. It must be really touching on to the point of your products, how it's helping them, how it's unique, where you're from, and all those things. You must be explaining in your images. Same thing goes for A plus content. And then there is one more thing, is like the designing. It must be really elegant. And if you can go to any Amazon Japan listings, top listings, you can easily see how differentiate their designing are from our top US listings. So it's really, you can say, a lot of different colors and a lot of vibes, a lot of logos out there. So that's all the things you will have to consider, and make sure your 7 main images, 6 main images are really localized. Your listing content is localized. You got Japanese reviews, your brand story. You must be explaining where you're from. You must be expressing, oh, we are one of the biggest brand from USA in this category, and now we are, you can say, serving our Japanese consumer. You must be setting that kind of things. You must not be hiding like, we are Japanese brand, we are localized brand here. I have seen some brands doing that, but that will not benefit you. The more it will benefit you is like expressing your foreignness, like where are you from, and why you want to get into Japanese marketplace, and what's your main purpose here. So that will get them more curious to purchase from you. And yeah, that's when it comes to localizing your listing, your page. That's what you have to consider.
Yeah, it's a lot more than just like when US sellers are expanding it to Canada or the EU or the UK, where it's like, okay, tweak, add some U's to favorite and a couple other words, and you've got it right? Like usually the imagery still works the same, the verbiage is still okay, but this is a complete, like you've said, a complete cultural mindset shift. And I think it's really interesting what you said too about it almost sounds like you have to act as though you are a Japanese company selling on Amazon Japan, because as American consumers, we will, you're right. We are more willing to take risk when it comes to our buying decisions. We'll find a listing online and say, yeah, I know that this is, written by a bot, or this is, a foreign owned entity, but the product will probably be fine. Not a big deal. And if it doesn't work out, I'll just send it back. Like, it was $10 or whatever, but you're saying, only they're a 95% risk averse culture. So you really have to build that strong brand and that trust very, very early on. Rob, I know that you attended a conference earlier this year in Japan talking about selling on Japan. What were some of the takeaways that you had, maybe some success stories that you learned while you were there?
Yeah, no, I mean, Umair said it. One of the things that was said a lot at the conference I was at was about the imaging. and how, heavy text and bold colors and, kind of like when you think of a traditional Japan movie, right? It's like big bright text and, ads. And even when you see it in their ads over there too, like ads, not just on stores, but ads in the newspaper and things like that. It's always big and bold and stands right out. And the product is kind of almost secondary, and it's very text driven.
That's what I like. Yeah.
The other thing I did learn, I'll have Umair talk about it, was how important is it to have local influencers when it comes to promoting your product, Umair?
Yeah, definitely. It's very crucial. As we just talked about, like Japanese audiences are really, really, you can say, really conscious on what kind of product they're going to purchase, especially when it's come to like the purchasing from Amazon. They especially don't know it's a Japanese company or it's a foreign company. So when somebody, a Japanese, just even one Japanese telling another Japanese that this product is good, they will have more 51% more trust in your products. So that's how important it is. Like that's why I said you must have at least 1 or 2 Japanese reviews. So this is one of the biggest mistake foreign companies are doing. They have a lot of reviews from USA. That's really cool. That will improve your CTR rate, but that will not improve your CVR rate. That's one thing. They will have them click on your listing, but then they go down, they read your reviews, cannot find anything in Japanese. That will drop down your trust. So for that reason, it's always best to have like first at least 5, 10, or minimum 2 to 3 reviews as well before you get into marketing your product. So that's how really crucial for Japanese audience, for Japanese consumer, to have somebody, other Japanese telling them this product is good. So imagine like the influencer going out, he have like at least 50,000 to 100K followers and telling them about your product. So that will really help it out. We have seen it so far with a couple of brands. We are helping with influencer marketing. So it's like booming. You can say we are not just talking about like cheap products. This product costs more than $600, $700. But the brand was not making any progress. So we thought about going influencer marketing. So once we did it, it's like really crushing it. That's what I can say. That's how important influencer marketing is in Japan.
Yeah, it's huge. That was one of the things we talked about a lot over there, was just influencer marketing. Umair, if you could just give us kind of maybe some mistakes that brands are making when they're getting, I mean, we talked about a lot of positive things that they need to be doing, but maybe if you could even just give us an example of a mistake that you see a lot of brands doing trying to get into the Amazon Japan marketplace.
Okay. So as I have, you can say, recently said as well, the number one mistake is Google Translate listings. That will not work at all. And the second mistake is, you can say, running the ads without, again, making the SEO, because it's really crucial. I think Amazon have launched their kind of new algorithm where it will, you can say, rank your product, or SEO will work on based of how well is this product is going to help to somebody who is searching for this product. So if it's not like well explained, Amazon algorithm will not pick it up. So it's really crucial to explain who you are, where are you from, who you are helping, who are your target audiences, and how your product is unique from others. What is different in your product, and you must mention some kind of life-changing examples, like if you use this product, this can happen in your life. So that's very crucial for Japanese marketplace, because if you do not provide, we can say, that kind of information, it will drop your CVR rate a lot. We have seen the brands who already have like the listing written, you can say they have their listing content in US marketplace. They gave it to somebody to translate it. They simply translated it, localized it. That's very localized, translated. But that's not what we want for Amazon. As we all know, SEO is very crucial whenever it comes to selling on e-commerce. So that's where they were being mistaken. So they localized, they just translated it from, you can say, somebody on Fiverr or Upwork, but that will not help them get more impressions or get in front of the Japanese audiences. So that's the one thing. And the marketing, it's not just Amazon PPC. On Amazon Japan, it's a whole different world. That's what we are helping here with. Like, is difficult, but it's really really big. So you can say, when it's come to marketing, not just focus on Amazon PPC. It will work in the beginning. It can help you rank your product. But if you're looking forward to sustain your brand in Japanese marketplace for the long run, you must have to have like off Amazon appearances. That's 99% foreigner brands are missing. So like you must have to have like your localized website out of Amazon, or just one single page. You must have like at least one article talking about you. So we had this brand who had everything, but he did not have like off Amazon appearance. So we created his just one simple landing page in Japanese. It was not like even the whole website, but we just created one landing page for one product in Japanese, explaining about the product, and then we got one article written. That article, we can say, like had 1 to 3 million we can say readers per month. So we got the article written, got that you can say landing page linked in there. So guess what? We have got like 99% boom in the sales, not just on Amazon, but on their website as well. So that's how one thing you Amazon sellers are missing when it's come to selling on Amazon Japan. Like off Amazon appearances, you must have like at least one article, one Japanese landing page, at least one influencer talking about you, which you can use as UGC content, and you must SEO optimize your listings. It's not just translation. And then images are the really press point. If you have your images really localized as well, then there is nothing stopping you in Japanese marketplace. If you have the demand, competition is not the big thing. I never, you can say, too much consider competition when it's come to like expansion to Amazon Japan. But just for some categories, we can say for electronics, there are some categories we must consider the competition. There are some big Chinese sellers. But for other categories, I don't think there is much competition as compared to the marketplaces. But this is a really big marketplace, like 126 million people. It's like double the size of UK, but the sellers are you can say far less than any other marketplace, and audience is really big and it's really loyal. If you have really great brand, great product, you think it will help Japanese marketplace, Japanese consumers, just go for it. Expand your brand, localize it, market it really well, have Japanese influencers, and you are good to go. You will have another, you can say, marketplace set for you. Beside your current marketplace, either it can be European or US, you will have another revenue stream from a different side of the world. That's what I think.
Yeah, so there's a huge addressable market there. So Umair, thank you so much, first of all, for sharing all of that knowledge with us. Let's move into kind of closing out the episode, starting with where folks can, well, first of all, how ProJapan can help sellers, who you're helping, what the price point is, what the process looks like. Let's start with that, and then we'll talk about ways they can get in touch.
Okay, so there is a simple step. So when it's come to the expanding, you can say if you have your store in US or Europe, all you have to do is to go to your catalog, global selling, click Japan, and just expand it. So that way, it will take you another page. You will have to provide the same information. You can say if you have your store professional subscription in any other marketplace, you can easily expand to the Japanese marketplace on your same information. That's the first step. The second step is to, you can say, adding your listings into Japanese marketplace. There is one, you can say, function called BIAL, maybe build international listing on Amazon, but that 99% doesn't work for Japanese marketplace. You will have to, you can say, create it by yourself. And there's really one small thing I would like you guys to, you can say, consider when creating your listings in other marketplace, not even just Japanese marketplace. Do not create it from your ASIN. Always create it from UPC or your barcode. So that way it will help really sync in the data. Sometimes when you just, you can say, expand your listing with the ASIN, it will, you can say, have problems like recognizing your brand. So sometimes Amazon will say, like in Amazon Japan, like this product does not belong to this brand, even though the ASIN is same. So we have found that always to come over to that problem, always not to go to seller support and explaining them back and forth, like this is the brand, this is it and that, giving them all the proofs. Always just have your listing created on based of your UPCs or the barcodes or GTIN numbers you have. Create your listing on based of that. And once the listing is created, and the next it moves to localization. Localization is done as we just talked about. Also, if first of all have your market research done. If your product have demand, then it's good idea to get into Japanese marketplace, because this marketplace is it's still growing. It's not still at the level of, you can say, at the level of like conjunction or number of sellers, or you can see awareness as it's in Europe or US. It's still growing. There are a lot of sellers here. So getting into this marketplace, even if your product have you can say medium kind of demand, get into the marketplace, localize your listings, and then import your products, and then you're good to go. Start your marketing PPC campaigns, and we can say off Amazon marketing, influencer marketing, and you're good to go. Your brand is set. Launch more products. So there's one thing I think we did not talk about is like line. It's a really big thing here in Japan. We can say, whereas in USA, Europe, other parts of the world, we have WhatsApp. Whereas in China, we have WeChat. But in Japan, Thailand, Korea, South Korea, in these countries, we use Line. This is like widely used, we can say, platform. And it's not just like the communication. Line have its own kind of videos called Voom. It have their own kind of Instagram where you can post. It have their own, you can say, news channels. So Line is a really big platform in these countries. So when you are thinking to build your audiences in Japanese marketplace or your own brand audiences, you are not going to collect the emails. You are going to collect the Line accounts. So that's what gonna really help you long last into Japanese marketplace.
Gotcha. And
Wow.
for those listening, it is just spelled Line, Line, all caps. So Umair, how could sellers work with ProJapan? What are the services that you all offer, and where can folks get in touch with you?
Yeah, definitely. So there are a bunch of services. We can say we have expanded recently. You can say first we were just helping with Amazon like a year ago, but it will not work like that. We have to go a lot off Amazon as well. So we have like really great comprehensive list of services which is, I can say, like one-stop shop when it comes to expanding or selling to Amazon Japan. Like there are some big brands we work with. We can say these big brands like have thousands of SKUs, right? So when it's come to like expansion, you are not just going to expand your 1,000 SKUs, right? So for that reason, we provide a market analysis service, which is free for you guys. If somebody go to projapan.co/Getida, they can get this service for free. But we have this market analysis, go-to-market strategy creation for these big brands who want to analyze their hundreds of products and categories they're selling in, which will work in Japanese marketplace. So that's one of our main core services. And then we can help you localize your listing images, listing content. As we just talked about, we can help you work with the influencers. You can say we have the connection with a lot of influencers here in Japanese marketplace. We can help you work with them. We have a partnership with here our own studio in Tokyo. If you want to photo shoot with Japanese models, Japanese famous influencers with your products, we can help with that. If you want to get your product into TV ads nationwide here in Japan, we can help with that. If you want to write the articles to spread more awareness for your products in Japan, we can even help with that. And then we can help with you building your social media campaigns and building your social media, you can say kind of organically your audiences in Japan. We can help with that. And then we help with overall Amazon operations and localizing your website. So this kind of services we have, like when it's come to marketing, we have social media, we have the articles, we have the influencers. When it's come to localizing a brand, we have website localization, your Amazon listings localization. And then when it's come to like importing, we can help you act as an importer, and then managing your whole, you can say, Amazon operations.
Perfect. Nice. And for the audio listeners, one more time, that website was projapan.co/Getida. And that is where you'll be able to, one, just learn more about ProJapan, and two, there is an offer in there as well for a free Japanese marketplace plan and a free one-on-one session. And if you guys are just interested in more information, you can reach out to Umair directly at info@projapan.co. These are both .co, you guys, not .com. Yep. I tried .com earlier.
Yeah.
.co.
Yeah. I tried to got .com, but that's really expensive. Not at this point.
Understood.
That was like $50K. That's not what I'm trying to invest right now. So maybe later down the point. Yeah.
Yeah. .co is just fine. Awesome. Umair, thank you so much for sharing with us today and for all this great information. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely. It was really awesome to have here and spread the knowledge. As I always love to, you can say this is something, you can say this is a really great opportunity and I cannot get it all myself. So it's always better to share with the public, share with the Amazon audiences who are trying hard to, you can say, make their brand, who have made their brand going through all these difficulties. So it's our duty to help them spread the knowledge, help them get to know about what they can do more for their brand and keep growing.
Yes, absolutely. We feel the same way. Well, thank you again, Umair. And thank you so much for everybody who tuned in today. If you guys liked what you heard, please be sure to give us a thumbs up, share your thoughts with us in the comments, subscribe to the show, and we will see you all on the next one.
Thanks for joining us this week on the Sellernomics podcast. Special thanks to our sponsor, Getida. Did you know that Amazon probably owes you money for FBA reimbursements? Get $400 in free FBA reimbursements at Getida.com/Sellernomics. Be sure to join us again next week for more great tips on how to grow your business. And thanks again for listening.